council. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Here.
Councilman Collier,
Here.
Councilwoman Templeton.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Councilman Dennis.
Here.
Councilman Benz.
Here.
Councilman Cook.
Here.
Councilman Tenen.
We do have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Tonight's bills total $521,179.21.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Cook,
Yep.
Councilman Tenen. Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Collier.
Yes. Motion passes for the consent agenda. Correspondence, please.
We have the certification from the election on April 4th. For Mayor, Sam Richards, 758, Robert Bobby Vince, 375. For Councilman Ward 1, David Boyer, 177. For Councilman Ward 2, Stacy Templeton, 194. For Councilman Ward 3, Kevin Dennis, 243. For Councilman Ward 4, Michael Cook, 303. On Proposition 1, shall the city of Festus impose a sales tax of 3% on the sale of adult use marijuana within the city of Festus? Yes, 835, no, 331.
Need a motion to accept.
I will entertain a motion to accept the results of the certified election.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
Just, you know.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn sine die. Motion's
Second.
been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries.
Will the 4 council members being reappointed, please step up here? If you want to come up here, yeah, in front.
We need one, 2, 3, 4 left to right. Or right to left.
Start to your left. Yes, Greg.
Yeah, so
So Dave.
Stacy, come over here. Or which way are we going, Barb?
Michael.
This way?
Dave, one.
I've been married 30 years. I don't worry.
You want me to look up or-
And you over here.
Over here. Okay,
Left to right.
so 1, 2, 3, and 4.
There.
Just like that. There we go. Okay, if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and then state your name. Do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications for the office of councilman, councilwoman, as prescribed by law, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Missouri, the provisions of all laws of this state affecting cities of this class and the ordinances of the city of Festus, Missouri, and faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God. Congratulations. And now we will swear in our mayor. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I, Samuel F. Richards,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess
that I possess
all the qualifications
all the qualifications
for the office of mayor
for the office of mayor
as prescribed by law,
as prescribed by law,
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Missouri,
and of the state of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws
the provisions of all laws
of this state
of this state
affecting cities of this class
affecting cities of this class
and the ordinances of
and the ordinances of
the city of Festus, Missouri,
the city of Festus, Missouri,
and faithfully demean myself
and faithfully demean myself
in office.
in office.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I told Matt, I said, I'm not coming anymore.
Now that we have everybody sworn in, I will entertain a motion to elect a mayor pro tem. Do we have any nominations?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to put Bobby Vins up for that position. He's a senior council person and I think he would do a good job in your absence.
Councilman Vins has been nominated. Could I have a second? Is there any other nominations? Hearing none, could I entertain a motion to appoint Councilman Vins as the mayor pro tem?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Congratulations, Councilman.
Thank you.
Remarks of visitors.
Yes, sir. We have a request to speak from Charlene or Lynn Brown. If you'd like to step to the podium, please. You have 5 minutes to address the council.
Well, good evening. My name is Lynn Brown, and I have lived on Gamble Cemetery Road for over 45 years. First and foremost, I want to say I am not here to try to stop our local businesses that operate on Gamble Cemetery Road or our residents from using the road. My late husband owned and operated Brown Plumbing on Gamble Cemetery Road. That brings me to the fact that my children grew up along with many other kids and rode their bikes and went to each other's houses and enjoyed freedoms that kids do not have today. And that's a shame. I am here to ask for help. Many of the houses on the main section of Gamble Cemetery Road are very close to the road and subjected to loud noises, pollution, and dangerous speeding of 18-wheelers and large construction vehicles using the road to get to the highways. I have been told that Gamble Cemetery Road was always meant to be a crossover road to Highway 61 and 67 and A. It was not. When we first moved to Gamble Cemetery, I had to call the county road district and ask for a white line to be painted on our road. It was just a country blacktop road. Gamble Cemetery was still on Gamble Cemetery Road and Lee Avenue, where the cemetery is now. Progress brought new businesses and cut the cemetery off Lee Avenue. My point being, the cemetery was on Gamble Cemetery Road, a country road where people could enjoy their homes and I'm shaking, and yards and not be afraid that their children were not in danger of being hit by a speeding vehicle. Again, what a shame. We have to live like this. Our kids today do not have the same joy and freedom to play safely. I have reviewed the traffic study of February. I don't actually believe the results of the report are correct, but that's not the point. We are here to ask for help. The road is not safe. Traffic is too fast and it is dangerous. I witnessed a car go airborne on March 31st at 10 minutes to 7 in the morning. I was in the front yard with my dog and I heard a thump, and I saw a car flying across the road, wiping out our neighbor's mailbox, landing on top of their sloped yard, making deep ruts and going the same speed. He just drove off on the wrong side of the road. Had he lost control of the car, changed course a fraction of a second, the car would have maybe flipped and I wouldn't be here today. There are numerous churches and childcare facilities on the road. Why isn't there stop signs or slower speed signs at these places? This road is not meant to handle the current abundance of traffic, including 18-wheelers, dump trucks with tandems, and commercial truck traffic. We anticipate more traffic on Gamble Cemetery Road as new businesses locate to Shapiro Drive, which has been extended to connect to Gamble Cemetery Road. The residents of Gamble Cemetery Road would like to seek resolution in the traffic control. Will you please help us? We need stop signs at Greenbrier and Ashford Place, a lower speed limit for the whole road, and more police traffic control. That's all I have to say, and I hope something can be done about this situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's all we have.
Bids we have tonight for the police department, a light bar purchase.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight and for you, we have a bid for new light bars for patrol cars. We got some pricing back in the end of last year. One of our cars was having some issues with not lighting up correctly. We called down the service technicians. They came down, came back in a little bit later, said, I want you to come out and look at this, and took the cover off the top of the light bars, and he was just crumbling insulation off the wires. Light bars are in excess of 10 years old because they came off of the old Crown Vics, and they haven't made those since 2010 at the latest. So when we looked into purchasing new light bars, got the bid, and then Mr. Camp informed me of a grant that we were available for. So I put in for that. We went out and we were approved to get half of this money back out of it. So the total cost of the entire project was $21,030. That doesn't include the installation. We'll take that out once they come in, but the installation wouldn't have been covered by the grant anyway, but this will allow us to get 50% of our money back through the ARPA funds from the police officers grant, our peace officers grant, to cover the purchase price of these light bars. And these will replace the majority of the light bars in our fleet. They're not going to do the 4 SRO cars right now, because as we buy new cars at that point in time, we'll buy light bars for them then. That was originally part of the whole package when we put in for cars at the beginning of the year. However, we haven't been able to get those cars, so that wasn't initially included in this prior to writing the grant. So we can't add those at this time. Any questions?
Is there any questions? Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid for $21,030 from Public Safety Upfitters.
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnin, Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Cook.
Yep.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Purchase your light bars. Anything else?
I've got another bid coming up for the UTV purchase. I can
Okay,
sit down and get back up if you wish, sir.
no, that's all right. You don't need to. We have a bid for a UTV.
Yes, we also, with the budget this last year, we put in for a new UTV for the police department. We were approved for $20,000 for this purchase. Went to the 3 local dealerships to try to get the best vehicle that we could, or the best UTV we could for that. Talked to Honda, Twin City Honda. He was not getting he wanted a 4-seater model. He was not getting really any of those in. He said he really couldn't give us a bid because he couldn't say exactly when he would have one. Talked to Surdykes and talked to Midwest. They were both able to give us bids on a 4-seater model. Kawasaki was from the Midwest Motorsports, and they have a 4-seater model. They came in at 18,825. Twin City, or actually Surdykes, I'm sorry, came in at 18,500 for a Polaris. We'd like to go with the 18,825, the Kawasaki. Couple reasons. The main reason that one is on the lot. It's the one we preferred, but it is on the lot. We can take possession of that one right away. The Polaris, if we would have bought it, would have been 6 to 8 week lead time is what we were told. The other feature we kind of liked about the Kawasaki, it has hard doors as opposed to the net doors. And it also has a convertible bed in the back. You can actually fold the back seat forward and extend the length of the bed if we need to haul something bigger and less people. So it's a little bit extra feature that was really kind of sold us on that one. So we're not requesting low bid. We are requesting $325 over the low bid. But that's what we're bringing to you tonight.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it at all, by no means. But isn't there through state, some of those that you can check sometimes?
They
Do the state bids?
They have some out there for that. I didn't really approach that right away because I was wanting to buy something local so we could service it locally. A lot of times if you get something off a state bid, you get something out of town. If something happens, you have to have it worked on. You got to load it up and haul it to wherever and have it worked on. That's why we tried to stay local with it. We can throw it on a trailer from Public Works and hopefully they'd let us borrow one and haul it back down there, which if it needs warranty work or whatever, both of them come with a 3-year warranty.
Well, yeah, I just was kind of curious if they're out there for those.
You can, and I kind of looked into one, but it was for Polaris, but it was out of a company over in Illinois. And the pricing was very similar. So, I mean, I think we're getting a really good pricing on both of these because it was really comparable to what the state bid price was through Illinois.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if they were, because everything else is through state bids for vehicles we check all the time. And
Yeah.
like the police cars and everything else. So I'm just kind of curious.
And I did do my research on this and I've always been a Polaris fan, but the Kawasaki, I think, fits our needs best. And there's a lot to be said for what is on a lot. It's like everything else. They're hard to come by. And I'd rather see us spend a few extra dollars, go local, than have to get one out of Illinois. This is a very, very good choice, very research project. Rode these my whole life, and this is a very, very reliable, good unit. It has enough horsepower, but not too much, which has to be consideration when you're looking at 1,000cc vehicle.
The Kawasaki is an 800cc.
Right.
The
So
Polaris was 1,000.
Right.
Horsepower was very similar.
Right. So we don't want it that 1,000 a little too fast for I think our needs, and this thing will last us forever. So I very much am in favor, and I did do my research on these, and I think it just proves that they did their research. This is a very good choice of a vehicle, And I like to see us stay local with it for the
Thank you.
extra few $100s. So thanks, Doug.
Hey Greg, quick question. I like to see multiple departments be able to use this. I think it'd be kind of dumb to have each department have their own. Is it possible in the coming budget, we kind of cost share this with PD? They're buying it right now, but at next budget cycle, maybe split this up. So if Parks needs it one day, Fire needs it, whatever. I like to make it more interusable and not so much proprietary for one department.
They're always welcome to come and borrow it
Yeah.
also.
Yeah,
All
I
they have to do
think-
is ask and.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of call from other departments to borrow the Cub Cadet. But certainly if they needed to use it, I know PD would be very gracious and making sure that
One
in this
reason
case,
they
the
don't wanna
Kawasaki was shared.
use that Cub Cadet, it's a bit of a bucket, but
Yeah.
I do like what Mike's saying, but I would like to see us in the future, perhaps get a proprietary one for the fire that we could use for brush fires and get us in places that you can't get vehicles, because we have several of those. So I'm all about sharing, but I think when the time comes, the budget comes, let's approach the fire one with that intent of setting it up for firefighting. So
And also just so that we are currently planning on keeping the Cub Cadet also is paid for and it's still running. Just as a secondary unit for Firecracker Festival and stuff like that,
I
but.
didn't say I didn't love her. I'm just saying she's getting old like me.
She's getting up there in years. That's why I'm in front of you tonight.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid of $18,825 from Midwest Motorsports.
We'll move.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilman Tennant,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Benz,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilman Boyer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Chief, get your UTV also.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Trailer you can borrow, Doug.
I hope so.
Tonight, we have ordinance number 4717 on the agenda. Would the clerk please read the bill for the first time?
Bill number 4717, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget and establishing an effective date.
Bill 4717 is open for discussion. Could I have a staff report, please, Stephanie?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. The majority of these amendments are items that were budgeted in FY 22, but we received them in FY 23. That's why it's helpful to have this vehicle ready to buy. So there's also a lot of updates for the debt service that we passed in October because we had to add all the cost and everything associated with that. And that was all for the Verity projects. And then a lot of the other things are just items you approved throughout the last 6 months for budget amendments. So does anybody have any specific questions about any of the budget amendments, or I don't know if you want to add anything?
Yeah, just so you know, as I've shared with you, the Woods Basement project at 406 did run over the budgeted amount. The amount to cover the full part of that project is in this bill. However, I'm still awaiting documentation from Woods. We will not pay them until you all have a chance to review a narrative and materials and labor as to the $12,000 that it went over their original bid. As we all know, and I think Jim had mentioned when we were looking at the project, the main issue they had was the amount of fill that's there on that site. Instead of going down what they anticipated 25 feet, it was a good 60. But the work was done satisfactorily. However, the documentation they have provided is not satisfactory. So the amount to pay them is in this amendment, but again, only until after they produce documentation as to explain the change in cost. It would have cost $12,000. Okay. Yeah.
So, whenever we got the bid from, when the quality,
Quality was the other.
is the bid within the amount that they were gonna charge us for the extra depth of digging as well?
They came in the same depth, so they were anticipating 25 feet. And their bid was about $6,000 more. If you recall, it's about 42,000. The total amount of work performed by Woods is at 48.
Right, but what I'm saying is like, I thought there was an option that Quality listed on how much per foot or how much per 10 feet sections if they had to drill over. I'm just curious if they were close to where Woods is coming in right now.
The number was right at, I want to say right at 50, maybe a hair over. So they're within $2,000-3,000 of each other. If you had gone with the option, if you'd gone with Quality and with the option that they had in their bid.
But they're done, right?
Done. Oh, yeah, and it works very nice. They did a great job. There's a few places in the floor on the west side of the building where they dug from the interior and then sunk the piers in. They've completely grouted that back. They really did a nice job as far as on site, making sure everything was done properly.
Is there any other discussion? Is there any council member that wants this bill carried over to the next meeting? Do I have a motion to suspend the rules and read Bill 4717 for the second time in title only?
So moved.
Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Madam Clerk, would you please read Bill 4717 for the second time?
Bill number 4717, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Festus, Missouri, amending the 2022-23 fiscal year budget and establishing an effective date. Councilman Boyer,
Yes.
Councilman Collier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Templeton,
Yes.
Councilman Weiner,
Yes.
Councilman Dennis,
Yes.
Councilman Cook,
Yes.
Councilman Tinnin,
Yes.
Councilman Benz.
Yes.
Bill 4717 has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
New business.
Do we have anyone from the Twin City Little League?
I had a chance to talk with John Chartrand, who put in the request for their annual opening day parade. I also talked with Chief Lewis. It's an annual tradition. And odds are in the past, there has been times where they have asked permission. There's been times where they just do the parade every year. So PD didn't have any issues with it. So they're asking permission to have the parade on April 22nd.
Is there any discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to allow the Twin City Little League to have their parade on April 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Bottleneck Bridge Ride.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me. Andrew Held with the Jefferson County Growth Association to once again bring to the council our Bottleneck Bridge Ride, which is in its 8th year. And my request to the council is tonight to once again have closure of Main Street from the Mill Street to Adams at the top of the street for closure for the street for the riders for the takeoff and for the return. For that, everything that I had passed out to everyone has a map on the back to kind of show what the landscape of that looks like. With this, we'd approached and been funded as a presenting sponsor, the Festus Tourism Commission, and we are expecting over 400 cyclists, hopefully 500 or more this coming year, August, for this year's ride. Taking off at 8 a.m. and it will as one mass start. So everybody takes off in the morning, heads through Crystal, and then they begin their trek on a 14, 34, 42, or 70-mile route around the county. And then, which only takes just a few minutes. It just, it's as one person once told me, it was much flatter on the map, Mr. Held. But it's a very scenic ride around our county, and then it convenes. All the riders come back in the main streets. Now, while they are gone, while all the cyclists are out, we have music and we have vendors on the street. Last year we had some of the Surdike, the Gold Star Harley Davidson had a tent with some of their bikes. We had other things for the kids with helmet fittings. We had some of the vendors and the teams were cycling and those related activities on Main Street. And then we also had music. We had a stage set up right on Pallier, and then allowed them to, we had music up until 4 p.m. that evening with some bands. And we had probably a third of the riders that did come back. So we had probably a little over 100 at one time enjoying the music, utilizing the restaurants on Main Street, up and down. And it was just a fantastic. The weather was perfect for that day. We were anticipating that same thing. So we would like to request the same thing for closure from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the ride would actually start at 8 a.m. is whenever registration and the lead vehicles will take off. And again, thank you, Mayor, for you and Mayor Crystal for being our lead vehicle. And we'd like to request that again if you would choose and accept. And then by the end of the day, by 5 p.m., the bands would end and we would begin breakdown and remove everything back to the way it was before we started. So any questions regarding the event, if any?
Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
Will not affect the church being able to hold their services on Sunday road.
The church that's right there at the top of Main Street.
It would be the one where the movie theater was to the right. Would be east of Pallier.
The impact.
It did not, it didn't affect them last year. There was one organization up the street had some older members that need to be dropped off. And it was already after everybody had taken off. So we just had the people that stand there at the street closure, our volunteers, make sure they could come in, allow for their parishioners to get out of the car and get back in safely. And it didn't impact them.
That
Yes.
entrance there if someone is listening to use.
Yeah.
It's a great event. You know, I'm not against it. I just want to make sure they can.
Yes, we have volunteers at all of the different closure spots. In case there is anybody that comes through, we can make sure and navigate them, as well as we have volunteers and safety vehicles all throughout the route. But our volunteers stay at the closure spots on Main Street all day.
As always, pardon me, Andy. As always, Andy, thank you for your civic concern and for your support of local business and for safety for biking in the area. It's important, and you've been doing it quite a few years now, and it's grown to really a nice mass right now. So appreciate it, and thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request for the TrailNet bottleneck bridge ride on Sunday, August the 13th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Andy, and I'd be more than happy to lead it.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, I can show first so you can wave to everybody. I'd be more than happy to.
You gonna offer to drive his Mustang for me?
Yes, sir. I would be more happy to drive your Mustang so you can sit back and engage.
Next new business on the agenda is the audit approval.
Yes. Hello again. So in your packet, you will find everything about the audit report actually was sent separately because it was so large. So there were no new comments this year. These have been comments that were here prior to me, and it's just due to cost. So I do want to thank all the department heads and my staff, Michelle and Miranda. Miranda really stepped up this year helping with the audit. So we had really good results. So I want to thank everybody for their hard work. Does anybody have any specific questions about the audit report?
There's very few negative findings, but is there a solution to things that they mentioned? Or is that just?
So one of
Pretty
them,
good report card, right?
yeah, so one of them is due to cost, and Greg might know a little bit more about that. And then the other one was due to the sewage commission. Do you want to explain any of those?
The main issue that we have is there's the cost of having and the word just escaped me. It'll come to me in a minute, but the folks that come in and set these values on the pension fund or on the sewer treatment plant. Actuary, yes, thank you. Circle gets a square, or square gets a circle. So an actuarial study and report is fairly expensive. And it's hard to justify spending that much money on those two things solely for basically being able to put a price tag on it. It's not a material finding. It is a very minor thing. It has been in the city's audit every year. It's just something that they find. It's a requirement that they have to put that in there, that we should seek an actuarial value, but if we wanted to do it, if we wanted to pay for it, we could to make these two non-factors.
Hoping she would say, oh, I know what you would say, but I understand what it costs. So I don't think you could have got a report, really.
No, and I think I put this in my report. I think it's important to note, this is an independent third-party audit that we pay for every year. And we have an extra set of eyes coming from outside the organization. Stop and Van Hoy do a very good job to make sure that our statements say what they're supposed to say. And we're following the governmental accounting standards that they put out all the time. They update them all the time. So to be able to get a report this good and to be able to have that published out there for the public to take a look at anytime they want as well is just good governmental business on our part.
Hey, quick question, just a quick yes or no. If they're wanting the actuary report on the pension program, that would come from loggers. We're a contributory source to loggers. Loggers has their own actuaries. Why can't we grab one of their actuary and use that?
With loggers, you're limited on when you can ask and how often you can ask. So while we may have received an actuarial value at one point from loggers, you're limited on the number of times you can ask them. So we don't have a current one as far as an actuarial value of what the city's actual pension value is. We can do that when our turn comes up again, but we don't have one current. No, you can. Loggers puts a limit on the number of times you can request an assessment or review of your pension. Let's say we wanted to change, let's say, the rule of 80 or something like that. You can only do that so many times before they'll give, and they do that, of course, at a cost. So it is something that they limit so that cities aren't just hitting them up every year, or organizations that are in loggers as well. Right. Right.
That's all I want, actually. 90 days old.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the audit.
So moved.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. Stephanie, if you would pass on to your members of your department and yourself, a very good job done, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Old business.
We have none, sir.
Councilman Boyer.
Just say congratulations to the mayor and all those that ran in the election. There's a lot of ground being cleared and a lot of businesses going in Festus and Crystal. And I think that as a result of that, what goes in Crystal helps Festus and vice versa. End results, both towns prosper because of that. Jim Collier and myself from Ward 1 here, we took a day last week and went around and visited a lot of the businesses on Main Street and other places. Let them know who we were, gave them cards and seeing there was any issues. We had some good visits with a lot of people. We went out to Planet Fitness and checked out that new business, and that's very, very nice out there. End results is we both joined out there. Did you go? Did you go yet, Jim? I went today. So if you're looking for a place to work out, that's definitely a good place to go. But that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Weiner.
I kind of echo Councilman Boyer's assessment of the cities. Yeah, what's whatever the old expression, what's good for the gander is good for the goose or something like that. I mean, with Crystal thriving and with us thriving, I think we're mutually scratching each other's backs for sure. Stephanie, thank you for all your hard work and your crew with all the accounting and the audit. I'm sure that was a tough job. It's nice seeing the roof here on the building and that preceding the solar panels and everything that's going to be going on there. So that's exciting. The same thing over at the library. It's exciting the work going on over there. I looked at a lot of times you just kind of go through this stuff quickly because there's so much of it, but I really paid attention to the library statistics this month. My wife brought this to my attention. They have got just a really nice little flyer that they put out each month. It's a couple pages, very nice and readable. And printed this out just before we came here. They make one of these each month, so it's at cityofestus.org under the library department, but it does a real nice job. Their circulation is up looks like 25% over last year. They've got another 5,000 children's books that they didn't have last year. So it's just another one of the components of Festus that is positive, that is part of a growing community. And I just wanted to bring that to light for the library because I think it's just another component that's just really doing a good job. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Dennis.
I just wanted to tell Ms. Brown, who I've known my whole life, that I've made numerous phone calls to the city administrator, and we do care what's going on out there. I don't know that we have any great big solution, but I'm concerned. I've been out there 10 times. I bet the mayor's been out there that many times. So I hear what you're saying. I don't like to see unhappy or feel unsafe. We haven't forgot about you guys out there. It just, things grow sometimes so fast, and we got you. Give us a chance to try to figure it out. I see the police out there all the time working. So we haven't not heard what you're saying. I want you to know that. Like I said, I have the utmost respect for you and your friends and your neighbors. So once again, I can't say enough good things about the people that work here. They stick together, they work together. I called Carrie today and I asked her, how long have I been here? Because I honestly don't remember. It's been 18 years. I have people ask me, why do you keep doing that? You got enough on your plate? Like, it's the best team I've ever served on. And it's about these people. I go out, I look what they're doing. And I'm proud to be part of this team. So I can't say enough about how proud I am to be part of this. And I'm going to continue to do it until I can, or they tell me they've had enough of me. So, but that's why we're here. We're people like Miss Brown, our neighbors. I grew up here all my life, like many of you did. And some of you got here as soon as you can. But, we're not going to quit until we try to do our best to solve every issue. And I'm proud to be part of that, Mr. Mayor. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cook.
Couple questions. Hey, Greg, on that traffic study, kind of helped me out because I jogged that road and I'm gonna get creamed one day. I know I am. But what's your thoughts? Give me some ideas or explain the road to me because there's several components to this.
Sure. you know, there's problems and then there's wicked problems, and Gamble Cemetery is a wicked problem where there's not going to be a perfect solution for it, unfortunately. It's by classification from the Missouri Department of Transportation, it is a collector road, which is a street that is classified as one that connects, and Matt, correct me if I get this wrong, it connects arterial roads, in this case, 61, 67 and A highway. It may not have been that way initially, but it is what it does now. And it also is a means with which all those subdivisions that have been built out in that area around Mrs. Brown's house and those folks that do live directly on Gamble Cemetery, how all those subdivisions feed into that road. So it is a busier street just by general traffic standards than a residential street. Therefore, it is classified differently than a standard residential street. And the generally accepted traffic engineering recommendations that you have for a street that has that much traffic coming into it, whether it's from the outside or from the subdivisions, the residential developments that are connected to it, are different. And the issue we run into with Gamble Cemetery is you can lower the speed limit, but that's not what's recommended for a collector street. A collector street, actually, the speed limit would be higher than 30. So I don't think the recommendation would be for us to do that. Because of the amount of traffic that moves through there, I think you also have concerns with starting and stopping that traffic. So say you were to put a stop sign at one of the entrances to one of the subdivisions, I think you're going to have a larger bottleneck problem with that as well. And these are all recommendations that CBB, Sean White, who came in and talked to us about West Main. And we see that there are some issues there. They're not perfect. And that sometimes there's coming up with that solution is going to it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort to be able to figure out what exactly we can do there, if anything at all, to be honest with you. So I hear exactly what you and your neighbors all have to say. That's why we undertook the traffic calming study in the first place. Normally, a collector road isn't a road that you would study under our policy, but we did it anyway at expense to the city to try to get a handle on, at least statistically, what's going on there. How many cars, how large are the vehicles, how fast are they going, when are they going? I feel that the study was a very complete one.
No, ma'am,
So if it's
that's okay.
a collector road, then if we would do something, correct me if I'm wrong, we would need other partners involved as well.
Yeah, there's obviously Gamble Cemetery is touched by 3 organizations. So there's the Missouri Department of Transportation, there's the Festus Special Road District, and then there's the city of Festus. So again, adding complication to this wicked problem is the fact that you need 3 organizations to be able to come up with a solution to just a simple resident request, which is it's a busy road, and whether it's speed, whether it's the size of the vehicle, is there something that can be done?
Then, well, I got your attention on that. West Main, I know we have all that piping we bought. Where we at on that, please?
We're in design. So once design and we get green lighted from MoDOT for the STP project that's accompanying it, they're all going to be bid together. The water line replacement project will go first and the street project will come in behind it. Hopefully they're digging in the same holes or have to tear up the pavement twice. It's I guess just a matter of timing. We're waiting for MoDOT to give us the green light so we can advertise. Yep. Yep. There's been some sections that had to be redesigned because of, some easements we just could not procure. But yes, we have a design and it's been sent to MoDOT for their stamp of approval.
Thank you. Councilman Collier.
I'd like to congratulate all the newly elected officials, and I echo the sentiments of Councilman Booyer and Weiner. I like to thank the employees and everything for all the hard work they do. And that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Templeton.
Just reiterate what Jim just said, and then also compliment for Barb. Had a call from somebody who said they are just so excited to see everything that's on the calendar for the going into this part of the year and beyond, and that it was really displayed out so they could actually put it on their calendar. So that was nice to have a kind of a landing page for everything. So great job.
Councilman Vins.
Yeah, I'd like to agree with Kevin on that too. What he said means a lot. Doing this for a long time, lived here my whole life, except for being in the Army for 3 years. And it's a great place to live. And I do feel for the traffic problem over there. I have some suggestions and ideas, but I'll bring that up later or talk about it, see what we can come up with. Other than that, that's it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Tenen.
Just congrats to mayor and all the council people. And since I go last, you guys have already said everything, so I'd be lying if I had to come up with something, so that's all I got to say.
All righty, thank you. Now I would like to say, now that it's my turn, I would like to say that when I say we, all 8 of you and myself got a win on Tuesday. And the employees, every employee of every section that we have in this city has contributed to the success of this city over the past 4 years. And the next 4 years, I want it to be just as good or better than what we had in the past 4 years. And ladies, I can assure you that we are going to come up with some solution to the problem of Gamble Cemetery Road as soon as we can. It may take a while, but bear with us. We're going to fix the problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Once again, I appreciate everything that you all have done. You've heard me say a lot of times that you can delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. And you all have done a great job of keeping things going. And I realize that there are people that think I did all this, but I didn't. You all did. And you all are the ones that makes the decisions. And we're going to have a good next 4 years. Having said that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made and seconded. I'm not going to say who made the motion or who seconded it. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.